Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Alfred Hitchcock's The Man Who Knew Too Much. And this movie came out in 1956, and for the record, I'm talking about the 56 version, not the 1934 version. Also directed by Alfred Hitchcock, because I haven't seen that version yet, and I'll save that for another time. So what I'm going to do here is just talk about this movie as a standalone film, and as a standalone film, I think this movie is excellent. Like, just about all of Alfred Hitchcock's movies, and it's pretty much one of the biggest reasons why he's one of my favorite directors. And this is my first time watching it, and I fell in love with it. And what I love so much about this movie is the setup and the payoff and the story, the meat of what this movie is. And the title is pretty much the perfect description of what the movie is. And it's like the idea for the movie and then just stretched out into a film. And I don't know how it happened, but this movie is so engaging and just excellent in every way. And the characters are well developed, and from the beginning of the movie you see that James Stewart, his character is a doctor, but he's also got like a short temper, and sometimes he has to be under control at a couple of points in the film. And like one example is like him trying to like eat food, and it's at a specific, I forgot where he was at, where you only use the three fingers from your right hand to eat food. You just grab it and just dig in and just eat it how it is, even if it's a mess, and you keep your left hand in your lap. And I thought that was pretty funny. And eventually just gets really irritated because one of the guys he was with earlier in the film, and this is all in the beginning of the movie, and don't worry, I'm not going to spoil the whole movie, but he sees a guy who he was supposed to eat dinner along with his wife, and he gets kind of irritated because he decided to just leave and go out with someone else. And eventually he just like starts tearing up the food and tries to and just eats food with two hands. And that was kind of funny. And I should also mention that there is violence in this movie, but it's not really bloody like a lot of Hitchcock movies. Like, I barely remember any blood in the movie, and what I really remember this movie for is the dialogue, the characters, the story, the cinematography, and all of those elements just work so well in this movie. And like the build up is so engaging, and it's like it just gets you just learn more and more as the movie goes along, and things aren't just getting crazier and crazier as things go along. And they do get kind of crazy, but not in a way that's like really over the top and like supernatural, but in a way that's realistic. Like, stakes are being realized, and things are starting to get intense because you get what is eventually going to happen and what the plot is, and it doesn't stop. And this is one of those movies where you can't skip a scene, you can't pause it. And even if there's something you don't like, the story always moves. And it's like a detective movie. And although this movie is dark at points and pretty serious, there are moments of comedy, which I thought were really funny. And I kind of liked the idea of having James Stewart, like his character being kind of an idiot. And he's just oblivious to certain things. And his wife is much more suspicious about things around her. Like, those couple were staring at us, and James Stewart doesn't even notice it, and they make fun of the fact that you're just jealous that I'm getting all of the attention and you're not, or it was something like that. And that was pretty funny. And with all of Hitchcock movies, I feel like I'm always going to say this, like with all of Hitchcock movies, and to just not stop mentioning his name, but really this is just something that's consistent in every movie that I've seen from him. All of the characters in his movies feel like real people. Like, the actions that they make is something that you would probably do yourself for the most part. And even if you might do something differently, you can understand why a character would do something in the way that they do, because it's within their character to do that. And while I can't name specifics, unfortunately, because I don't want to spoil anything, all of the actions feel justified in this movie. And when this movie builds up suspense, it pays off really well. And especially in the way that it's shot. And it's like there are certain shots in this movie that are just burned in my head. And now I can't get them out of my head anymore. And that's what I love about this movie, is that it's very memorable and very effective and a lot of fun at the same time. It's like it's not super serious entirely. And the movie never stops to make a joke. It's just funny, the situation that they're in. Like, they're not telling jokes. It's just funny. There was also some really great reincorporation, and I love the setups for everything. And it was just... This movie just really understands what it is and how to satisfy its audience, and it never gets gory. It's never really bloody, and what I love most about Alfred Hitchcock movies is that basically anyone can watch them, and as long as you have an understanding of what his movies are like, and you like what he gives you, then this movie will satisfy you, and that's how I felt with this movie. It's really great. It's an amazing Hitchcock movie, and I'm excited to see even more movies from him. And I just there's not one movie that I've seen from him that I thought was bad, weak, or even just good. I've loved basically everything that he's made, and he's probably my third or second favorite director ever. And with all that being said, I'm going to give The Man Who Knew Too Much, the 1956 version, a 10 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of The Man Who Knew Too Much, and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.